Okay, this is
Commissioner.
She is a legal expert extraordinaire, and she's going to be presenting on our business track tomorrow. And I thought if you introduce yourself quickly and just give us a tease of what you're going to be talking about tomorrow at the business track.
Sure. So, Kamisha Simmons, I'm an attorney based in Dallas, Texas, and tomorrow I will be presenting on building empires in the sky, but particularly when we have these increased business operations offered, and you are an operator, let's say on the moon. How do you use existing law and existing frameworks to protect the territory that you're working in and the area of operations that you're working in for an indefinite period of time? Because and it's a spin-off, the presentation is a spin-off from my Building Empires in the Sky article that I published in the Space Review. That article is more about territorial expansion. This presentation is going to be more about operational. When you're operating, what are the laws and rules and principles that will allow you to continue operating in an area and hopefully not have anyone interfere in your operations while you are, mining or in structures or whatever you're doing at that particular time on that particular site.
A couple days ago, NASA came up with hey, we want to block some stuff off, and we're not going to own it, we're not going to control it, but we're going to classify it as for non-interference, and we're going to run some experiments.
That'd be fine, but they're talking about hundreds of square kilometers is the problem.
Is it a problem?
Is it a problem?
That's okay. That's what I want to hear. Okay. Cool.
Is it a problem?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's about who gets there first, as everyone keeps saying, who gets there first. And whoever gets there first sort of establishes the rules, because then once you get there first and then somebody challenges what you're doing, then you're going to already have, had your legal arguments ready as to why you're able to do what you're doing, and it doesn't violate the Outer Space Treaty, it doesn't violate the Artemis Accords or whatever, because you've gotten there first. You've already done, your team of attorneys has already done the legal research and analysis and advised you on this is how you go in and this is what you do. And when they challenge you, this is how you're going to respond. And so until somebody gets there first and establishes operations, whether it's U.S., it could be China, who knows, but whoever gets there first and starts setting up shop, you're there first. And then so you can, if someone else says, well, you have to let me in here, China comes second and says, okay, you can't, take all this land. Who do you think you are? We'll give you an acre, but you're not going to get all that many acres, So if they do that, you can say, well, number one, we got here first. This is a capital intensive endeavor. And then under the Outer Space Treaty, it says that you can't harmfully interfere in our operations. The Outer Space Treaty says you have to exercise due regard for our activities. But then China's going to respond and say, well, under the Outer Space Treaty, there is to be free access to all celestial bodies. And, we're all parties to the Outer Space Treaty. And then at some point, either the U.S. or, if we get there first, is going to have to make an argument saying, and we don't know if it's going to fly, but you would have to say, well, for national security reasons or mission critical, the high level mission critical risk, we have to preclude you from coming into this area. And that's fine, but China can say, well, there's nothing that allows you to operate in this area indefinitely, right? Even under the your own Artemis Accords, it says you can create a safety zone, but that safety zone is temporary, and so it will cease once the relevant operation ceases. So even though the U.S. is saying, oh, we're going to have this moon base, we have built all these structures, how long does it last? 100 years when it says, you know, or do you, you know, or do they China argue, okay, you can have your structures here, you can have that, but you can't keep us out. We need some
we
sort
want
of
free access.
we either
right?
want free access or right of way, something. You can't stop us from coming in. You can't put a fence around your perimeter and, you know, put a no trespassing sign or something like that. Well, we can, but, you know, how do we, from an international law perspective, keep them out?
Yeah, because that's what added in. Because first you talked about, you know, if you be there first, you can do this and that. But since I've heard all these other words out of you, I'm going, is that really true? Does it really pay to be first and best, or is it only a 51-49 proposition?
I think it pays to be first. I think it pays to be first, but also have a team that's already done the analysis and given you a legal opinion as to whether or not what you're doing is in compliance with international law. And then if there is any gray areas in the law, that you have a team, you know, legal team that's advising you as to this is a workaround because that area was silent, that this thing was silent under the current law or legal principles, or this is a gray area, so it opens itself to differing interpretations. And so this is how, you know, if you're going in, I mean, especially for the bigger companies, you know, they have the big guns when it comes to their legal teams, and they're hiring the firms that are billing out at $2,000 an hour. And they like to build a lot of hours putting together legal analysis memos and make a lot of money off their client. So they're going to have, you know, given their client, you know, an analysis of whether or not they are able to do what they're trying to do. And so they're going to have that at the ready if they're smart when someone, you know, disputes what they're trying to do.
You had a question?